Your Excellency, Dr. Raja Isa Al-Garg, Member of the Board of Directors of Dubai Academic Health Corporation, Your Excellency, Professor Alawi Sheikh Ali, Director of Dubai Health Authority, Founding Dean of MBRU's College of Medicine, and Member of the Board of Directors of Dubai Academic Health Corporation. Distinguished guests, colleagues, and everyone joining us virtually. Good afternoon, and a very warm welcome to all as we celebrate the White Coat Ceremony for the class of 2026. I am your host, Hind Baqhoum, Year 3 student in the MBBS program at the College of Medicine. To my fellow peers, the class of 2026, you have joined MBRU a year ago, and today we are excited to come together and welcome you officially to the MBRU family. Now, I'd like to begin our ceremony with a welcome note from our Dean of the College of Medicine, Professor Sulaiman Al-Hamadi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Your Excellency, Dr. Raja Isa Al-Garg, Member of the Board of Directors of Dubai Academic Health Corporation. Your Excellency, Professor Alawi Sheikh Ali, Deputy Director General of Dubai Health Authority, Founding Dean of MBRU's College of Medicine, and Member of the Board of Directors of Dubai Academic Health Corporation. Dr. Amir Sharif, students, and colleagues, welcome to the White Coat Ceremony for the class of 2026. Students, last year was quite remarkable. As you began a very important chapter of your life, the world was battling a pandemic. And despite all the challenges brought by it, you were patient and resilient throughout. You have officially completed 1 year of your medical studies, and here you are, celebrating your medical journey with us. This White Coat Ceremony is a memorable one. Hold it close to your heart, and know that you will have an interesting story about it down the road. You will always be a special cohort that choose to wait till time permitted, that you recite your oath in front of all of us. not to miss on the great feeling and sense of responsibility that comes with it. To the parents and family who are watching us remotely, I would like to thank you all once again for trusting us with the education of your sons and daughters. I am confident that 5 years from today, we'll see them grow into well-rounded physician and healthcare leaders. Students, wear your white coat with dignity and pride, because it's an honor to serve humanity and impact lives for the better. Remember to uphold the values of MBRU: integrity, connectivity, respect, giving, and excellence. Act those values in every interaction. Be the MBRU ambassador that we all look up to. I wish you all the success as you embark on this exciting lifelong journey of learning and service. Myself and my colleagues will ensure that your time here at MBRU will serve to shape your mind, develop your abilities and character. Congratulations once again, and Doctor of 2026, here's an official welcome to the MBRU family. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Professor Sulaiman, for your warm welcoming words. While they may be far in distance, they are always with us and have been an instrumental part of our journey. Our partners and friends at Queen's University Belfast created a beautiful message for you as a warm welcome note. Until we get to see them again, let's hear from Professor Graham McCowan, Academic Lead, Queen's University Belfast, for the MBRU partnership.
Assalamu alaikum. Honoured guests, parents, my name is Graham McGowan, and it's my pleasure to add my welcome to you on behalf of Queen's University of Belfast. I am academic lead for the partnership between my university and MBRU, a relationship which was officially signed off back in January 2015. My first visit was before that, back in June of 2014, at a point when many of the spaces in the main university building were yet to be completed. Since then, it's been amazing to see how quickly teaching spaces, labs, cafeterias, and offices were designed and finished out, providing a magnificent setting for the College of Medicine and the wider university. And yet, there was something missing from all these state-of-the-art facilities. It was all too clean and tidy, and definitely much too quiet. We needed students to mess things up a bit. And in 2016, we got our wish as the first students, the class of 2022, arrived. Since then, it's been exciting to see how things have grown and developed, leading now to this, the 5th intake of medical students. So, congratulations on your achievement in being chosen to join your older peers here in MBRU. In Queen's University, we have been training doctors for slightly longer than in MBRU. The medical school opened here in 1835, although the first medical student was actually admitted in 1821, some 200 years ago. We work with MBRU to advise on many aspects of the development of the college and university, with the hope that they might learn from our successes and avoid our mistakes. But this is a true partnership, and we learn as much or more from the excellent and highly committed faculty here as they ever could from us. Indeed, I no longer think in terms of us and them, but in terms of we. It's not me or you, but us. We are family, even if we are temporarily separated, like so many others. It has been a delight to work alongside all those here in Dubai and to see the university grow and develop. The commitment to quality and excellence has been central from the start and will continue, I'm sure, under the excellent leadership here in MBRU. Still, if you ever have doubts whether the career you have chosen matters, then the pandemic should lay those doubts to rest. The importance of healthcare professionals working to deliver the best care available to the sick, as well as to protect society at large through evidence-based advice and provide hope for the future through biomedical research, has never been more obvious. This is the world you are joining. Indeed, you have already started laying the necessary foundations in your first semester studies. Your role for now is to study well and to keep yourself and others safe. But sooner than you can imagine, you will be joining those who have gone before, working together to look after those who need your care. In all of this, it's easy at times to lose focus on what matters most, the patient. Healthcare should be both careful and caring, keeping the needs and safety of others at its heart. We are called to serve. It is a high calling indeed. So, in closing, let me just repeat my congratulations and best wishes from Queen's University. It's my hope that we'll be able to meet face to face in the not too distant future, a hope bolstered by the rapid rollout of the new vaccines across the globe. Until then, let me wish you every blessing in your studies and student life for the months that lie ahead. Shukran.
Beautiful words from Professor Graham. Thank you. Now, I would like to invite our keynote speaker for today, someone who has been instrumental to the success of MBRU from day one, Professor Alawi Sheikh Ali, Deputy Director General of Dubai Health Authority and the founding Dean of the College of Medicine.
Shukran, Hind. Assalamu alaikum. It's good to see the class of 2026 again. It's been a year, I think, since the last time we met, when you first started here. Your Excellency Dr. Rajal Gurg, founding Vice Chairperson of the Board of Trustees at MBRU and now founding member of the Board of Directors of the Dubai Academic Health Corporation, Dr. Amr Sharif, Vice Chancellor, Provost Professor Zaid Qa'in, and Dean Sulaiman Al-Hammadi. Families and friends, both here in this auditorium and watching at home. So I've prepared remarks. I use these for the class of 2027. And my intention up until 5 minutes ago was to go over the same speech. And then Professor Sulaiman Al-Hammadi, I think in his remarks, reminded me that you guys had to wait a full year for the white coat ceremony. So I thought it's not fair really for you to get the same speech. You could actually just go back home and watch it on YouTube. So I'm going to do something risky, maybe a little stupid, and I'll just improvise and speak to you from the heart. So 25 years ago, I was in your shoes. It was my white coat ceremony when I was a first-year medical student. Exactly 25 years ago, September 1996. And as I told your colleagues earlier, I really don't remember what was said in that ceremony or who was in that ceremony. And I don't expect you to remember who spoke today and what was said today, 25 years from now. But I do remember how I felt. And it felt exciting and it felt a little anxious. But I think I'll do something to try to make you remember this day 25 years from today. And I'll speak to you about something that you'll never forget, something that you've lived through, something that probably will define your career for for the rest of your careers. And that's the pandemic. I don't think anybody will forget the pandemic. And what do I want to tell you about the pandemic? This institution, many people in this room were sucked into how this nation, this country, this city responded to the pandemic. The Command and Control Center for COVID-19 in the Emirate of Dubai was led by the Vice Chancellor of MBRU, and many people in this room were involved in the logistics and the vaccination campaign and the testing campaign and the science that informed decisions. And I've been keeping note of some of the lessons learned. And I think some of these lessons, all of them actually, are lessons that any aspiring physician or any practicing physician for that matter should reflect on. So I took some notes and I'm gonna talk about some of these lessons. So how did this all start? How did a small young university got involved into the biggest challenge that this generation has faced, and probably the biggest challenge that your generation has faced? And it all started, it was March 2020. The world was battling this new virus and new disease. A lot of people didn't know what was going on, what was going to happen. And it was basically a curious group of scientists within the university who felt the duty to contribute and think about how to address this challenge, and came up with a very simple model on what do we think is going to happen if things continue to go the way they are. And the rest is history. That curiosity, that sense of duty driven by curiosity is what actually placed the university in the center of how this country and this city fought the pandemic. And that's something that you need to keep in mind, and you as young physicians to be and young scientists, a sense of duty and curiosity, just if those are the main things that will really drive your success. And that's what actually brought MBRU to the center of the COVID-19 fight here in Dubai. It was just a small group of people who felt the duty to do something and were curious about what is going to happen with this pandemic. So duty driven by curiosity. The second reflection is one of the key things really that defined how the UAE, Dubai, the Command and Control Center addressed this pandemic from the very beginning. It was very clear that you really have to balance lives and livelihoods, and a lot of people are saying that now. But that was actually one of the principles that guided the response to the pandemic here in Dubai. And why is that relevant? Well, as physicians, practicing physicians, you always know that you don't want the treatment to be worse than the disease. So if you're going to have any intervention, be it a lockdown or any restrictions, it cannot be worse than the disease itself. And that balance of lives and livelihoods was key to the way this nation and this city responded to the pandemic. And you'll have to do that every single day as a physician. Every time you prescribe a medication to your patient, every time you order a test for your patient, every time you recommend a procedure to your patient, your intervention should never be worse than what you're trying to treat, than the ailment that you're trying to manage. The third point of reflection is science is not straightforward. Science is nuanced. And science can be intimidating at times. And it was most intimidating in the fight against this pandemic because nobody knew this virus until it became, the virus that caused the biggest pandemic in our generation. Nobody knew the disease. There's a lot of questions. What do you do? Even masks, now that sort of standard practice, right? We all wear masks. I remember discussions in late March. Should we really impose masks? Southeast Asia does it all the time with such pandemics, but the rest of the world, and there was, at the time, we didn't know. But decisions had to be made with uncertainty. And you'll have to live with that for the rest of your lives as physicians. You will have to be comfortable with uncertainty. You will have to be comfortable with the intimidating nature of science. You'll have to be comfortable with the fact that what is a fact today may not be a fact tomorrow. Science is evolving, and you'll have to be comfortable making decisions, and sometimes making decisions in emergency situations with very little information. But decisions have to be made. A nice analogy that I read somewhere, it's like fighting a fire and the room is full of smoke. You can't say, I'll wait until the smoke settles and then I'll decide what to do. Which side do I need to fight? You have to fight the fire despite the smoke and make decisions as best as you can, acknowledging the nuance of science and living and not be intimidated by the uncertainty. The fourth point of reflection is science is necessary but not sufficient. So, of course, you have to practice evidence-based medicine. Of course, you have to know your biochemistry and physiology and pathology. But that's essential. That's necessary. You cannot be a physician today without that. But that's not enough. There's an art to medicine that perhaps the importance of supersedes the importance of the science of medicine. So while science is necessary, remember, it's never sufficient, particularly for the patient that's in front of you. The fifth point of reflection is on teams. I remember when His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, the Vice President, Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai, visited this very campus to talk to the team, the Command and Control Center, and the wider community team. One of the things he said was about teams, and he said, the teams, أهم شيء الفريق. The most important thing is the team. And today's healthcare, I think there's no doubt that you'll be working in teams, you'll be working with other physicians, you'll be working with other healthcare providers, other carers, nurses, physical therapists, people outside the profession of medicine, administrators. And it's very important to be comfortable, not only comfortable, but to be proficient at working within teams and trusting your team members. And you'll be practicing that. I'm sure you've been practicing that last year as a first-year medical student with perhaps study groups and working in teams. The sixth point is, there's a saying, the devil is in the details. I actually think the angels are in the details. And that's very important in medicine. And patients recognize that and realize that. When you're listening to a patient's heart, and after you're done, they have to button their shirts up again, and they can't, and you help them do that. When you touch your patient while examining them, when a patient walks into your room and you stand up to greet them, when they walk out and you walk out with them to the door, these seemingly small details matter a lot to patients. So the devil is not in the details, the angels are in the details. Last but not least, you came into this profession because you cared about people. And it is about caring. It's actually, all of it is about caring. Everything else comes down to caring for the patient. And the reason this university, this College of Medicine is an exceptional place is because the faculty, the staff, everybody here cares about the learner. So that you then can care about your patients. So I leave you with the words I left your colleagues earlier today. You'll be getting a book and your stethoscopes when you leave this room. And I wish you all the best. And when you put that stethoscope to listen to your patient's heart, may you listen with your hearts. And may you have the wisdom to hear more than just heart sounds. Good luck.
Thank you, Professor Alawi. Your wise and truly inspirational words will always remain with us. There's no doubt that the last year and a half has been challenging for so many reasons, but being an MBRU student means you rise up to the challenge and conquer your goals. Year 6 students would like to share with you what was it like for them to step up during the pandemic. Let's watch together.
Our mission at MBRU is to advance health in the UAE and the region through an innovative and integrated academic health system that is nationally responsive and globally connected, serving individuals and communities. And we as students are proud and grateful to be able to live out this mission.
In my fourth year of studies, the world was hit by the COVID-19 outbreak. It was our first year of clinical rotations, and due to the lockdown, our last rotations were largely cancelled and moved to an online format.
And as disappointing as that was, because we wanted to continue our education, we also understood that it was for our own safety as well as for the patient's safety. But we really felt like we wanted to make a difference. We really wanted to contribute, and we wanted to help out the frontline health workers. And so MBRU has offered us an amazing opportunity to volunteer in the various hospitals that we rotate in.
During the pandemic, I volunteered at Mediclinic City Hospital's emergency department. My role was to assist the doctors and nurses in the initial assessment of patients presenting to the ED.
I took the chance to both help out in any way I can in the surgical department, and I took charge of my own learning and built the skills that I had missed out on. I assisted in the surgeries, I shadowed patients in the wards, and I filled in for staff who were affected by COVID-19, unfortunately, both in the OR and in the clinics.
I would like to say that I'm very proud of my fellow colleagues who have shown great courage and responsibility, rising to the challenges posed by this pandemic and volunteering at the various COVID-19 screening centers. It comes naturally for us as MBRU students to take initiative, and thanks to the guidance offered by our dedicated faculty, we were able to grasp the enormity of our role as future frontliners. The online COVID rounds we attended since the beginning of this pandemic helped us stay informed, stay in touch, and aware of the challenging nature of a frontliner's role.
As future healthcare professionals, we need to take initiative and help out. So I would like to thank my university for trusting in us and allowing us to join in helping out our community in the most dire of times. Thank you so much, and welcome to MBRU.
Now, the moment we have all been waiting for. Doctors of 2026, you will now recite the Hippocratic Oath with Professor Sulaiman Al-Hammadi.
أقسم بالله العظيم أن أراقب الله في مهنتي وأن أصون حياة الإنسان في كافة أدوارها في كل الظروف والأحوال باذل وسعي في استنقاذها من الموت والمرض والألم والقلق وأن أحفظ للناس كرامتهم وأستر عوراتهم وأكتم سرهم وأن أكون على الدوام من وسائل رحمة الله باذلا رعاية الطبية للقريب والبعيد الصالح والطالح والصديق والعدو وأن أحفظ للناس كرامتهم وأن أثابر على طلب العلم أسخره لنفع الإنسان لا لأذاه وأن أوقر من علمني وأعلم من يصغرني وأكون أخا لكل زميل في المهنة الطبية في نطاق البر والتقوى وأن تكون حياتي مصداق إيماني في سري وعلانيتي نقيا مما يشينني أمام الله ورسوله والمؤمنين والله على ما أقول شهيد. I swear to fulfill to the best of my ability and judgment this covenant. I will respect the hard-won scientific gains of those physicians in whose steps I walk, and gladly share such knowledge as is mine with those who are to follow. I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures which are required, avoiding those twin traps of overtreatment and therapeutic nihilism. I will remember that there is art to medicine as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon knife or the chemist's drug. I will not be ashamed to say I know not, nor will I fail to call in my colleagues when the skill of another are needed for patient's recovery. I will respect the privacy of my patient, for their problems are not disclosed to me, that the world may know. Most especially, must I tread with care in matters of life and death. If it is given me to save a life, all thanks. But it may also be within my power to take a life. This awesome responsibility must be faced with great humbleness and awareness of my own frailty. Above all, I must not play at God. I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart, a cancerous growth, but a sick human being whose illness may affect the person's family and economic stability. My responsibility includes these related problems. If I am to care adequately for the sick, I will prevent disease whenever I can, for prevention is preferable to cure. I will remember that I remain a member of society with special obligations to all my fellow human beings, those sound of mind and body, as well as the infirm. If I do not violate this oath, may I enjoy life and art, respected while I live, and remembered with affection thereafter. May I always act so as to preserve the finest traditions of my calling, and may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help.
Thank you, Professor Sulaiman, for your words and the entire class of 2026. And good luck to you all. May I kindly ask the class of 2026 to sit down. As tradition, we always end our ceremony with a group photo, and this year is no different. May I kindly invite you all to stand for the group photo. Congratulations, class of 2026, and welcome home. At the end of our ceremony, I would like to thank you all once again for being with us today. Kindly remain seated until our guests leave the auditorium, followed by our future doctors.